10 major car brands are hemorrhaging money so fast they are practically giving vehicles away just to survive. In 2025 alone, the automotive industry has seen the most brutal shakeup in decades. Sales have plummeted by over 40% for some manufacturers. Inventory is piling up in lots across America, and desperate CEOs are slashing prices to levels we have never seen before. What used to cost $45,000 is now going for $22,000 or less, but here is what the dealerships will not tell you. This is not just about being generous. These brands are fighting for their lives. In this video, I am revealing which 10 car companies are so close to bankruptcy that they are offering insane deals just to keep the lights on. Stick around until the end because the final brand on this list is offering cars for 70% off retail price. But there is a shocking reason why you might want to avoid them completely. Please subscribe, like, and share your thoughts below. Are you seeing these deals in your area? Before we start, have you noticed any of these brands missing from your local dealerships? Number 10. Mitsubishi. The signs of Mitsubishi's slow demise in America are becoming impossible to ignore. Once a respected Japanese automaker with popular models like the Eclipse and Lancer Evolution, Mitsubishi has been quietly vanishing from the American landscape. Their dealer network has collapsed dramatically, with entire states now lacking a single Mitsubishi dealership. In the last year alone, they have lost over 100 dealerships nationwide, leaving massive coverage gaps throughout the Midwest and southern states. The few dealers that remain are struggling with an increasingly difficult situation, selling cars that feel like relics from another era. Mitsubishi's current lineup still relies heavily on decade-old Nissan platforms and technology, while competitors have embraced advanced driver assistance systems, modernized infotainment, and electrification. Mitsubishi continues selling essentially the same vehicles they offered in 2015. The Outlander, despite a recent refresh, uses an architecture developed when Obama was still president. This technological stagnation has created a desperate incentive spiral. Dealers are now offering mind-boggling cash rebates and financing deals that would have been unthinkable even 2 years ago. Advertised discounts of $7,000 to $9,000 on vehicles that originally cost $25,000 mean dealers are essentially selling cars at or below cost just to keep the lights on. 0% financing for 84 months has become standard rather than exceptional, a clear sign of a company willing to lose money today just to survive until tomorrow. The sales numbers tell the brutal truth about Mitsubishi's trajectory. Year-over-year declines have consistently hit double digits, with some months showing drops of over 35%. The brand that once sold over 345,000 vehicles annually in America now struggles to move 85,000 units. With each passing quarter, Mitsubishi's already tiny market share just keeps shrinking, and now it sits below 0.5% of all U.S. auto sales. Maybe the most telling sign is what's happening at the dealerships that are still hanging on. Lots that were meant to hold 120 vehicles are now packed with 200 or more, and some models have been sitting there unsold for more than 180 days. This inventory mess has led to a second wave of price cuts, beyond the official manufacturer incentives, with dealers slashing prices by thousands just to make room for shipments they simply can't turn away. One dealer in the Midwest even ran ads for new Outlander Sports at almost 40% below MSRP, calling it an inventory reduction emergency. Unless something really big changes soon, it honestly looks like Mitsubishi is in the last stages of its long goodbye to America. A slow-motion exit that's just disguised as more and more desperate discounts. Once a cornerstone of American automotive history, Chrysler has been reduced to a shadow of its former self. The devastation to their lineup is honestly staggering. A brand that used to offer a full range of sedans, minivans, and some truly innovative vehicles now limps along with just 2 aging models, the 300 sedan and the Pacifica minivan. The 300, which was once a groundbreaking design, hasn't had a full redesign since 2011, making it, well, a total dinosaur in car terms. The Pacifica, while it's been updated a bit more recently, is still Chrysler's only other option in a market where people really want choices. The real reason for Chrysler's decline comes down to its parent company, Stellantis, which has basically abandoned the brand in favor of divisions that make more money. So, internal documents and industry analysts confirm that Stellantis has shifted pretty much all of its investment capital away from Chrysler, focusing instead on Jeep and Ram. These brands, deliver higher profit margins and just have a stronger global appeal. The company's strategic plan from 2021 to 2025 actually allocated less than 3% of North American development resources to the Chrysler brand. Basically, Chrysler has been put on, life support. This kind of corporate neglect has honestly created a pretty desperate situation for Chrysler dealerships. With hardly any new products and customer interest just dwindling, dealers are, slashing prices to levels we really haven't seen before on their already limited inventory. Discounts of $12,000 to $15,000 on Pacifica minivans have become pretty common, and some dealers are even offering these vehicles at or below invoice cost. The aging 300 sedan can now be picked up for nearly 30% below MSRP in many regions, with dealers bundling in, extensive warranty packages and maintenance plans just to try and create some kind of value proposition. But behind all these desperate measures, there's a much deeper problem, a fundamental brand identity crisis. After decades of corporate shuffling, from being an independent company to German ownership under Daimler, then Italian control with Fiat, and now as part of the multinational Stellantis conglomerate, Chrysler has, lost any real coherent identity. Is it supposed to be a luxury brand, a mainstream competitor, or maybe an innovation leader? Honestly, neither dealers nor consumers can really answer that question, and it leaves the brand kind of adrift in this automotive no man's land. The market irrelevance from this identity confusion is, super clear in consumer surveys. When people are asked to name American car brands, younger buyers consistently mention Ford, Chevrolet, Tesla, and even Jeep before Chrysler even comes to mind. And what's even more troubling is that when presented with a list of brands they'd consider for their next vehicle purchase, less than 2% of respondents under 40 select Chrysler at all. The brand has basically become invisible to modern car buyers who don't even think to include it in their consideration set. Without some kind of dramatic intervention, Chrysler honestly looks destined to join Plymouth. Bordnenti pomont jas bestammerlijks terdestam, probalmer popper. And Mercury in the graveyard of discontinued American automotive brands. Mazda has long been the darling of automotive journalists, praised for driving dynamics and design that, honestly, punch above its weight class. Yet the company faces a demographic time bomb that threatens its very existence in the North American market. Industry data reveals a steadily aging customer base, with the average Mazda buyer now approaching 56 years old, up from 45 just a decade ago. While the brand maintained fierce loyalty among driving enthusiasts born in the 1960s and the 1970s, it has failed to connect with younger buyers who, more and more, choose Korean and American alternatives or even skip car ownership altogether. This demographic challenge, it coincides with a cost structure collapse that has squeezed Mazda from both ends. As a smaller manufacturer lacking Toyota or Volkswagen's economies of scale, Mazda's production costs have risen dramatically amid supply chain disruptions and inflation. Market positioning prevents them from passing these costs to consumers through higher prices. The result is profit margins that have thinned to nearly non-existent levels on many models, particularly the sedans that once defined the brand. Dealers, sensing this vulnerability, have developed increasingly creative survival tactics to move inventory. Beyond traditional discounting, Mazda dealerships have pioneered bundling strategies that mask the true depth of price cuts. Complimentary extended warranties, typically worth $2,500 plus, free maintenance for 5 years, and dealer-financed appearance packages allow them to advertise seemingly modest discounts while delivering effective price reductions of 25% or more. One Midwestern dealer group now includes a prepaid gas card worth $2,000 with every new Mazda 3 purchase, essentially paying customers to drive their vehicles. These desperate measures stem from a fundamental market positioning failure. Mazda's long-term strategy involved moving upmarket to become a Japanese BMW, investing heavily in premium interior materials, refined driving dynamics, and sophisticated design. Yet the brand has found itself trapped in an uncomfortable middle ground, too expensive to compete with mainstream brands like Honda and Hyundai, yet lacking the badge prestige to steal sales from Audi or Lexus. The result is a shrinking customer base, unwilling to pay premium prices for a non-premium badge. Perhaps most concerning is Mazda's future uncertainty as the industry undergoes seismic shifts. The company's traditional strength, exceptional internal combustion engine technology and driving dynamics, holds diminishing relevance in a market rapidly transitioning to electric vehicles and advanced driver assistance features. Mazda's belated and underfunded electrification efforts leave it vulnerable as competitors race ahead with dedicated electric vehicle platforms. Meanwhile, its sedan-heavy lineup struggles in an SUV-dominated landscape with the MX-5 Miata, once the brand's halo vehicle, now an anachronistic reminder of enthusiast priorities that no longer drive mainstream purchases. Unless Mazda can resolve its identity crisis and find sustainable positioning between mainstream and premium segments, expect to see increasingly desperate discounts as dealers fight for their survival. Jaguar, the storied British luxury brand known for its sleek design and sporting heritage, faces an existential crisis in today's automotive marketplace. Its ambitious attempt to lead the luxury electric vehicle revolution with the I-Pace resulted in a humiliating market rejection. Despite winning numerous design and engineering awards, luxury electric buyers have overwhelmingly chosen Tesla, Porsche, and even upstarts like Rivian over Jaguar.